It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and let's have a look at what's going on in Mallee netball. Of course, no games this week, and our next guest is on the road with a car full of the family, heading off to Murray Bridge, I believe. How are we going, Nicole?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Jason. How are you?
I'm well, thanks, mate. Where are you off to?
Off to the Karoonda Merino Field Day today in Murray Bridge. A big outing for the last 2 weeks, so we're pretty excited.
As you should be. That's great. Well, there's no netball, obviously, to worry about this weekend. But while we're on that topic, of course, I think this latest lockdown and the fact that you're not playing this weekend really affects Mallee netball almost more than any other competition around the state, given that your last round of matches is due to be the 7th of August. You finish a little bit earlier than most competitions out there. So have you had a discussion yet about what might be, whether or not you'll push the season back a bit? What's it looking like in Mallee netball?
Well, I believe there's been a lot of options thrown around, but no decisions made just yet. The associations, I think, are officially meeting next week, probably looking to meet after the Premier's, Tuesday announcement of what the next level of restrictions will look like. There's been a lot of ideas thrown around. Looks like a lot of other associations have kind of made up their mind with what they're doing, and it looks like they're going a lot of different directions. We, of course, finished really early, so, perhaps there could be potential to push back that grand final, but I don't think they'll be inclined to do that. They want to stick to that date that's, been put in the calendar, 7th of September. One idea, though, I think quite popular is our first and second semi-final. They're on 2 different weekends and possibly looking to put that on the one weekend, and then maybe you get to play another minor round of games because, we're going to get back. We're only going to have one more match and then finals, and there's every possibility that Pinaroo and Marvel match, maybe that won't go ahead and they'll have to go straight into finals. So it's, a lot of ideas on the table. So I'm glad I'm not in that decision-making seat, but I know I've got good faith in those that are, that they'll have the best outcome. And that's Poppy in the background. She's got a few thoughts on it too, but
clearly,
I'll let you interview her later.
I'll talk to Poppy in the future, but she's excited to get to see the sheep of the Karoonda Field Day. So, right. As far as in terms of the netball and what might happen, I guess we have to wait for the announcement from the government as to whether or not we can come back next weekend at all. But in terms of other news from around the association, I thought it's a good opportunity to have a look at who you think might do well medal night. I guess it's a bit tricky because not everyone's played everyone even amount of times, and I imagine it'd be a bit tricky for yourself being that you're playing in some of these games as well. But who do you think might do well in terms of best and fairest and medal counts?
Yeah, well, I've had a bit of a think about it, and it's sometimes interesting with who you can end up polling well. It might be, a real standout player from a team possibly that hasn't ended as high on the ladder, but sometimes those higher teams, they've got a lot of standout players that steal votes from each other. But one I reckon will poll well, Kiara Paik from Karoonda. She's a new player. Her and her cousin, Shaylin Paik, really dominated in that team and done really well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see her up there. Also a new player from BDT, Cassidy Coulthard, I think will poll quite well. So there are a couple that I'd like to see how they go. Of course, we've been so affected with the COVID shutdown, lockdown. Marvel and Peak, they've missed. We all missed the last 2 matches, but they missed an additional 2 matches because it just happened to fall on there when they were playing each other. So that will have an effect on their votes. But for the A grade especially, that probably are 2 lower teams in the ladder, so not as much respect there. But they're 2 players I will have not some money on, but I'll be watching to poll well. We also do a team of the year in our association where all the clubs, they vote. I think it's their top 10 players. Yep. Which is quite interesting. So I'm really excited to see who ends up there. We haven't put ours together yet, our team, and it is quite fun. You sit down as a team and you try and pick, your dream team from the association. So that will be another exciting one. But I'm assuming that will all still go ahead. Whether we'll have a Zoom poll count or what, who knows, but I'm sure something will come through.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You mentioned the effect that the lockdowns had, and we've talked about the possibility of only having one more minor round match to go. What does it mean for certain ladders? I mean, we talk a lot about the A-grade ladder, and we know the finals four is basically set anyway. It's in what position it would have finished. But in terms of other grades, it's far from the case. So it's going to have an impact on someone perhaps missing out. Is that right?
Oh, it's guaranteed, I think, to have some sort of impact on every grade. Like even, I obviously am looking very closely at the A-grade ladder in Lamoureux, and the fact we didn't get to play Pinaroo, we've missed out on our top two chance.
Yeah.
Had we bet Croontify that one goal last week, we would have definitely been in. But it does kind of affect everyone. So it really is hard to say. You could sit down and think of all the scenarios, but in the end as well, you never knew definitely what would happen with those matches. So I can't sit here and say, we would have bet Pinaroo and we would have been top two because you don't know that.
That's true.
Another possibility I've heard is that they go back to the ladder as at the end of round two, because at that point Pinaroo and Marvel had only missed the one game. So there's so many possibilities out there. Looking at the ladders, though, I don't think there'll be huge changes. I think the only one really that's on the line will be the A reserves, who will get into that fourth spot, very close between Pinaroo and Marvel. So hopefully they get to have a go against each other in the last minor round.
Okay, well, that'll play out in the future. But in terms of actually Murrayville, let's talk about them. They've had a really interrupted season through no fault of their own, but they've finally got some good news, and they've told you all about it. So what's happening to the Murrayville club rooms there?
Yeah, really exciting. $1.7 million boost for Murrayville. So I believe it's going towards their whole sporting hub. So they have their tennis, footy, cricket, netball all in the one hub. So some new change rooms, a new sports club area. Really exciting for them. It's been a really difficult 2020. We thought 2021 was looking up, but they keep having some curveballs thrown their way. But having this boost for them, for their community, is just fantastic. So big congratulations. This money doesn't just get handed out. They would have had to work really hard for that. So well done to everyone who played a part in that.
Good stuff. All right. Well, it's been great chatting. We'll know more next week. Hopefully we'll have some matches to preview. I'll let you get back on the road and get to the Karoonda Sheep Days and buy Poppy an ice cream from Uncle Jason. I'll send you the money through the week.
I'll send you the car cleaning bill too.
Good stuff. All right. You take care.
Jason.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks. See ya.